Come on, hey, listen.
Oh, them
like
guys, yo. Rose, the thing there, Rose, man. Come on, fam.
Okay.
Hey, obviously, them man there's in the building. Hashtag DMDPODCAST. Myself, Smoke.
Come on, Big Rome, you can't even clone the done.
Big Wezo, no intro, you done, no.
Yeah,
Big
man.
Snaps, aka Zek, the one and only.
Come on.
Special guest in the building.
Yes. Obviously.
Yo. Big up Crepsy as well.
Big up Crepsy.
I was in the shot still.
I have to get in the shot quickly.
I know Crepsy's here.
Yeah, for mine, where you're leaning on.
Yeah.
Listen, though. 4K, you know.
Back in the studio. We thought, you know what? Like, obviously, we missed out last week. Shout out everybody. We got a message all like on us, like, right, we're slacking and
the DMs that
but I was like, no, you're right.
People need their fix.
We was trying to get in studio, to be fair, from like January, innit? But obviously timing and everything with
COVID and that.
Yeah, COVID, but it just got to a point where we're building up so much momentum on like the Clubhouse and made so much connects and met so much good people that like things need to start going on. So obviously we managed to get Zek. Been talking to Zek from early December times, and then when we went out into Ghana in January, and you were sending man bare stories of heat and that, and man was freezing out here, and me and him was running bare joke, like he's in Ghana and every day it's raining here. Man said to me, yo, it's lit, you know, party, like yeah, he was living proper.
Unfortunately, came back on the day when it snowed.
Oh, you come back on the day it snowed?
That's the worst still. Imagine that.
Made you appreciate your trip more though, isn't it?
I know, second time out there, to be fair.
What was it saying out there? How was it? What was popping?
I think what I love about Ghana, especially like West Africa, the culture and the creative industry is becoming so big now.
Yeah.
Because Afrobeats in general has become such a sustained genre.
Yeah.
It's like how, so when you compare Afrobeats to like all these other genres, I think the authenticity has always been there. So obviously if you look at the old times when you have Fela Kuti who originated the sound of it, and then it migrated to like the later sounds that you had like Olamide, Ice Prince.
Yeah.
You had then that generation afterwards, you had then Burna Boy. Then the Wizards came through, then the Davidos came through. I think what I like about it, it's like, it's so, how should I say, the vibes is there.
Yeah, there's
it's
hella
so
vibes,
vibrant, it's full of good energy. It brings a lot of togetherness and unity throughout the culture. And I feel it just has that, now it brings Africa as one, because in terms of how everyone's capable of doing a lot of things. And I think there's a massive differentiation within each specific Afrobeats. So if you look at East African Afrobeats, it's so different to West African Afrobeats. If you look at stuff like Diamond Platinum, who's like the biggest artist in Tanzania, his sound is quite different to Wizkid's sound. Whereas if you look at someone like Shatta Wale, for example, even though he's West African, he's from Ghana, he brings that bashment type of aspect into his sound. Same with Stonebwoy as well. Whereas someone like exactly. So, but someone like a Wizkid or Burna Boy, they're pure Afrobeats. Like it's African vibes at its finest. And being out there, especially when you see these things firsthand, and what the industry is now building within that section is becoming amazing. Now, I think in Nigeria, they've just opened their first Universal Music office. Really? They're about to do a Sony one very soon, and Nigeria is now becoming the hub for it.
I feel like just looking over the last few years, just Africa in a whole, everything is going over there. Obviously, like they got the Afro Nation. I know Afro Nation was started in Europe and that, but they pull it over there. And then even when you saw all the celebrities like Beyonce and all of them, Cardi, all going to Africa, like it's looking, and even like what Akon was doing as well, or what he's
Senegal.
Yeah, with Senegal, and he's trying to make the A coin and stuff like that, trying to create the city. Obviously, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes with that or whatever, but like just everything that's going on is just trafficking. And if you think about it, 20 years ago, we'll still be looking at, not even 10 years ago, we're still looking at advert acting like Africa's poor and children. You get what I'm saying? But social media has really shown and been able to bridge the gap between everybody now and stuff like that. So that's sick, man. I haven't personally been that side of Africa, like Ghana. I need to go.
I think one more thing on top of that, I think what it's really showing is like people now are investing into the fact that I'm going to go back home and really invest into a land. Like, this should have been happening years ago.
You got like the likes of Kojo, Lethal B.
Lethal's got a property investment company out there. Obviously, Fuse was one of the first artists to
But they're doing it together as well, innit?
Exactly.
Eddie Caddy, I suppose.
He's still out there. I was with him, speaking of the devil, when I was out there. Him and some other guy called, I think, Small God.
Okay,
him. They were just showing me around, and Eddie's just amazing. Man.
You know what? The last few years, I've actually I went to they do like an Afro, what's it called again? Pan
African.
I know
what you're all about.
So I've been going to a couple of those shows, yeah. Afpanagon, is that what it's called? Something like that. Someone correct, man, innit? Because my pronunciation is terrible.
I mean, now it's elevated because obviously NSG they've just brought a bar out there like in the beach.
Is it?
They've got a bar out there, so I forgot what's it called again, but it's a massive one on bar where they brought people like to perform out there, like Omalay, all of these other Ghanaian artists. G4 Boys were supposed to be there, but COVID stopped them. But Ghana now is becoming the hub for like a lot of things now, and especially like with how I see with the African community. Going back in December as a vibe for a lot of them. It's like where I'm from. Like obviously, a man's Iraqi, but you see in Iraq as well. When you go to Iraq during like November, December, that's when like the holy month of like Ramadan's like happening, or we got our own sense of belief. Obviously, with something called like it's called Ziyad Ashura, which is like a walk from like different mosques to like different places, like what Shiites believe in it. Obviously, I'm just a Muslim in it. I don't have this sense of belief for who's better than who, but in Iraq is very special within that month. Same like how Africa have their own acknowledgement in December. So it's an appreciation month. So it's always good to go out there and just appreciate rather than just being here.
100%. I think anywhere's better than here, to be fair.
So from us, for the people that don't know your story, first of all, big up, because people that listen is gonna know how far Africa's. Well, we will see how far Africa's come.
Of course,
it's the motherland.
Of course,
and it's for years. Everyone's been saying it, but at least it's been action now. You get
now.
But it's on its way. But what's your story? Because you love Africa so much. But I want to know how you got to.
Let's talk about Zek's story.
Yeah, let's want to know.
Obviously, like if you look at the first ever civilizations, so we're talking about the Babylonians, the Sumerians, people from Mesopotamia, the Numidians, the Habesha Empire. People from that generation of civilization and the Olmecs, I would say, and the Indus Valleys. They all were black. Let's be fair and square. But one thing that separated them, the continents were different. But it was all part of Africa. So, like example, where I'm from, Iraq, that's where Sumeria and Babylon is originated from. So that's where the aspect of the Garden of Eden is originated from. Obviously, law, governance, mathematics, algebra. A lot of it was found there. And if you think about the first deities of like gods that originated from the Anunnakis, they call it. That's where Iraq has that showcase within it in history. Same with Egypt as well. Originally, Egypt, they call it Kemet by trait. And even the aspect of Africa, the name Africa is not actually Africa. It's a whitewash name created by white people from slave masters to originate that name. The real name of Africa is called Al-Kabulon, which a lot of people don't know and some people do know.
I didn't know that.
So exactly. So if you look at the deep research and context within it, it's been stimulated throughout the years. Obviously, history has repeated itself. People speak about slavery from years back. I always say go back to the times when the Persians were in power because they did a thing called ritual slavery, which they basically invaded countries like India and Afghanistan and the Pakistans because back then that's where the Indus Valley civilization were. Persians were the first like Aryan white people that were existed on Earth. So the whole term of Aryans came from Hitler, we all knew and studied throughout school, but the actual term of Aryan came from the Persians. So they were the first people that had like my skin tone, brown, blue eyes / black hair. If you look at their history of empire and the context of I think it's called the Akkadian Empire, I think it's called. So if you study about the kings, so like Cyrus the Great, Darius the First, these people, they were nuts in their head. So
so come on. Come on.
Like these guys, they bought like if you look at ritual slavery and what the Europeans of today studied from, they all took majority of the context from the Persians. Because all the influence of Persians came to what Europe then migrated to. That's why, like, when I say to people, slavery, they're like, I'm like, slavery even coexisted way back then. That's why the whole thing about Persians, when they invaded India, they were like, wow, look at these genetically black-looking people. How are they more superior to us in terms of our looks and that? What do? Killed, conquered, and they made a thing called divide and conquer. That's where the whole aspect of divide and conquer came from. Even till this day, that whole concept of capitalism and all those methods came from Babylon and Iran. So, or as we call it, Persia. Because, as I said, my country, Iraq, was the first country that found governance lawing. Without that country, law and governance would not be found within governments itself, and obligations of rules to set upon people.
Yeah.
So in the sense of the whole thing about capitalism, socialism, all of these other things that coexist within the Western world and the Eastern world. So it's deeper within the latter of fact. I always say to people, everything has African history within it genetically.
Everything.
Modification, no matter what you think. That's why things like scientific racism and that all exist for a reason. But I don't want to go deep in that because scientific racism is a whole different topic. Whole different topic. Like that generated from like the 1700s. But that whole thing, do your research about scientific racism. One guy I definitely would tell you guys to definitely research about is a guy called Francois Benet. Yeah. So he was one of the founders of. He was one of the people that brought the aspects of scientific racism into like separating Asian-looking people, black people, white people into separate identities.
Okay.
But through science. And he's like, when I was reading books about him and other like scientists that had this psychopath aspect of like racism through science, I was just mind baffled. But at the same time, I kind of saw why the black community have always been, how should I say, they've always been targeted for many decades from time back. Because they genetically were the first humans on Earth, but people just don't want to look into that. That's why if you look up Iraq, old paintings of Babylon and Samaria, they had black-looking Sumerians on their paintings. They just don't want to admit it. Because why? It's because they've been whitewashed. That's why I always say to people, when people say to me like, but when obviously my fellow Africans and Caribbeans come up to me, they say, but ain't the Arab community like all one? I'm like, that's absolute nonsense. The Arabs are in such division as bad as the African and Caribbean communities.
Do you know what? Yeah, I feel like if you want me to be honest, I feel like every race is in some sort of problem.
I know. This is it.
But this is like our community will say, it's black people allowed, but I'm saying, like we only know about our culture. We're not in everybody's culture. So when you're not in everybody's culture, you're not going to know everybody's business. You know your business. So like,
there's an ignorant mindset.
Yeah, there's an ignorant mindset to think that it's just. But you're right. Like there could, like as you said, there's problems just as much in over there, and then there's probably just as much problems in the white communities and the Asian community. Yeah. Like, but everybody's just in their own bubble, innit? And I feel like you see with social media, obviously with social media now, and everyone opened up to the world. You see when everybody comes from a certain culture. You can grow up in a certain culture and have a certain mindset. But now when you're opened up to the world, you can't bring that same mindset. Like, you can't have your own opinion that you've always had. Obviously, there is education and there's some things that we're ignorant to. People should understand, like, all right, cool. If you're ignorant to a culture or you're ignorant to certain things, certain education should just be like, I need to... But it seems like everybody wants to shout and argue and whatever. Like, even with Clubhouse, I'm seeing things all over. People are always arguing about stuff. But then people have to be open-minded. Like I noticed the people that are open-minded, that's travelled the world or they've had a load of experience in life and been around different cultures, they're not arguing about this stuff because they understand different things.
I think it's one thing as well, Smokes, is about the social environment that you grew up in and who you grew up around with. Yeah. I'm thankful I grew up with a dad and mother who have been in these situations. Like my mum and dad came from the Sudan War. My dad was an ex-lieutenant soldier. Like he was trained to do mad stuff against Saddam. But then he later realized when he came to the country as an asylum seeker in the 80s, he realized Saddam wasn't the true enemy. Like there was deeper things that was within the latter of context that he saw, that the citizens of Iraq and the people of Iraq were in two different anti-dimensional situations. And it's like, who really is the enemy? Who really is there? And then when this whole thing about 9/11 came through, the whole propaganda aspect about Iraq is the targeted country that we need to go and get rid of terrorism, you can now see the occurrence that's happened now in the country. There's a secretive civil war going on, bro. Like, not a lot of people speak about these things, especially like the whole thing in Nigeria, the Yemen situation, the Syria situation. These things have been stimulated throughout years. Because even though I had a chat yesterday with someone saying to me, but I wonder what it was like to live in World War II and World War I. And it's mad if you think about that, because how they've treated things differently now is through stuff like COVID, through proxy wars, geopolitics.
This is World War whatever now.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like they're distracting us from what we're not seeing.
Exactly.
And that's the mad thing about people, what they don't see.
See that there? Don't even get me started on that. Don't even get me started on that.
It's real.
Like, you see what I mean?
That's real.
And they've been doing it for years. The SARS illness, the bird flu, all of these things that have stimulated distractions onto human beings. And that's why I've been in the media industry for so long, I see how they get up to these things. Like they don't want to let you know the truth. It's like example last year when I did the Black Lives Matter protest. I had the BBC, CNN, all of these people hitting me up, and I said no to all of them. Yeah. And one of them was like, why? This is an opportunity for you. I'm like, listen, even if I still give my photos for the sake of it, you guys ain't still gonna make a true definition of what exactly happened.
You're gonna use it for your own narrative.
You know what I'm saying?
You would have taken your own pictures, but they'll use it how they want it,
and they'll fit the script. That's what they would have done.
And then it's used, so they'll be using you as the tool for their. So no matter what, and then it would have been for a check.
Yeah,
exactly. For a check.
And then I would have been criticised by the black community. Look at this outsider. Look at what he's done to us. And this is what they want us to do. Go against each other. Yes. And that's why I'm so happy. Shout out to I'm Just Bay and all of these other black-owned platforms. They were like, do you know what? Send it over to us. We'll have it. And you know what? I didn't even do anything for the money, man. I could have made about 10 bags of those photos. But I just done it for the love of the culture. Because I grew up in the black community with Jamaicans and Congolese people. Yeah. I remembered where I came from. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's
and I appreciate it. I still see myself as an outsider, but I still have a lot of heavy respect for the black community, even till day dot. Even like my dad and mum, I'm so happy I had them too, because they taught me from young what racism is all about, and this is that, this is this, and this is that.
And that's the thing. It starts from home. It's teachings what is things about. So when you do go into the outside world, there's an understanding from young. Yeah. And some people just don't do that.
There's a lot of people ignorant. So what age did you come here? Was you born here?
I was born and raised there. I was the only one in my family that was luckily born and raised there. My two sisters were born in Iran, but they were born in the war, so between Iran and Iraq.
Jeez.
So it was just a bit mad fortunate, but luckily they all made it happy and sound.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's good.
Man.
Even like myself, it's mad because it's like when I speak about what happened to me, even like myself, I went back there for the first time at 4 years old. And my uncle got killed in a bomb attack, and I witnessed it in my own eyes.
Shit.
Wow. So when people speak about where my depression comes from and all this shit,
because
it just comes from that. But I didn't get told when I was like 13 years old, and then around 14, I got symptoms. How should I say? I had symptoms of chronic depression. Okay. But I didn't. It wasn't as severe as it was before, because back when you were young, you were kind of more free. You express yourself a bit more, and obviously sometimes depending on the type of environment you grow up in, you just don't really care about. But I kind of noticed the damage that I'd done throughout the years when I started uni and started photography. Yeah. I then realized, you know what? It's actually taken a mad effect on me, and I did not speak about this whole situation. I would say. 3 years ago, I started to become more of an advocate for it, but I didn't really speak about it. So then 2019, one of the maddest experiences I had was 5 days after my 25th, I went to my kitchen. God forbid, on that day, I drew out from the drawing board and I picked up a butcher knife. I don't know what went through my mind. It's because I think it was between April and May, I had no jobs. I got rejected for 3 jobs for certain reasons. I messed up 3 clientele works that I wasn't in the right frame of space. And obviously, if it wasn't for my manager, I would have been in deep, deep madness. Yeah. But then what happened was I had the knife in my hand, and then I was just like shaking, and I was just praying to God, like, thank you, God, for giving me the life. But however, this is the last time you're going to see me, and this is just me taking my life away. I don't know what happened, or somehow my manager and my dad, especially, I think it was my dad first, knocked down the door, smashed the door down, came in, pushed me down, and he saved my life. And then my manager came in out of nowhere, and then he had to calm me down and that. I was a broken man. I was an absolute broken man. Like, I was broken, and I think that was the same year Cadet passed through as well. Yeah. And obviously, Cadet was one of the first ever people that brought me to behind the scenes, which a lot of people don't know. Okay. So my first ever music video I did photos for was Slut.
Oh, so that was your guy.
Yeah,
that was your guy. Not just that was your. Yeah.
I had a lot of time for him. Yeah. Like, obviously, he respected the fact that I had university, so he respected that I had my own thing and that. So he brought in someone else to do his stuff. But whenever we saw each other, it's always love, mad respect for each other, and then we always showed love to one another. And he regarded me in high notice, man. And then that year, man, I was broken. I was mentally broken. Then I went to therapy for like 12 to 13 weeks. It was an interesting time. So. Yeah, man, it's just that whole thing about mental health and just battling it throughout day by day. Like, I still kind of battle it. Yeah. But at the same time, like, it's just you don't know what people go through, especially as men. Because men, when they go through mental health, especially this current generation, first generation, it's like we're taught to try be forgiving with our own sense of mental health. Like our dads or mothers, we're like, oh, just wipe it out of the way. It's just blah blah blah. Like my dad always had that mentality, but I think what changed my dad's perspective when he saw me
When
that
he
day.
saw live and direct.
He was broken, broken. And then I think me, him, and my mum had to sit down. We all had to speak about it because my mum's got PTSD as well. My dad's got post shell shock traumas from like the war.
Yeah, brother, they come from a war,
the
the real life war, not that.
It's not easy.
It's not,
So like, my dad had to talk to me about his story deeply. Then my mum as well. And I think what really hit me hard was like, my mum. Then I think around the end of 2019, she was like, if you really want to see deep things and deep pains and emotions, come take me to my trauma appointment that I've got at Woodfield Trauma Centre. Took her there. I dropped her there, and obviously I was waiting outside. That was the first time I was proper crying. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I knew my mum had a lot of things.
Yeah.
But
you went in with her.
Yeah. And it's just
you...
when I saw her there, I was broken. But at the same time, she's one of the strongest women I know. She's got 7 symptoms of illnesses, but it's like how she stands tall and how she is. And she showcased herself as a woman of power. I fully give her my props and flowers till this day. Same on my dad, man. Like my dad taught me to be who I am today. Like it's just sense of acknowledgement. And sometimes like our parents can be the biggest challengers when it comes to our mental health. Like it's mad. Like expectations are so stupid heavy. Especially when I started uni. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing photography? Why are you doing a creative
you feel like
course?
you can't tell them nothing back because they're your parents. So it's
but
like...
at the same time, I had that mentality where I'm going to prove them wrong and see what it does.
Yes.
Bro, that 4 to 5 years, I made so much money to the point, especially last year throughout lockdown, I made so much money that I never expected that I made. You looked at me, they're like, how the hell did you make all this money from like campaigns and that?
But it's great because... You gotta look at where they're coming from. They're like, nah, get the job. Go and do this. You do photography. Be a doctor. Be a lawyer. Why
exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying?
How every cultural parent is like
that. Come on.
So, I think a lot of our generational parents was that in it because they come from a work
no social media as well.
No social media, so they can't fathom what we're doing on social media right now. Social media to them is like,
what you facing?
That's whatever. But you know what? That's a very.
He's gonna say like what I say.
Yeah. Them man.
He's not even lying.
You know how long I've been trying to get him on Clubhouse? I'm trying to get him on Clubhouse, you know. He won't buy. Still trying to get him on right now. Are we going to talk about this right now? No, we're going to talk about it in a minute.
Okay, I'm going to tell you about the Matrix. I'm going to tell you about the Matrix.
You get me? So
yeah, because we all have 3 different perspectives.
Yeah. But that's a very important lesson because I hear since I've been doing a podcast over the last few years, that story is very common of people wanting to do something and their parents saying, why are you doing that? You need to do this or you should do this or blah, blah, blah. And then there's some people that may listen and then where they are further down in life, it's like they regret certain things because they put a push. And there's other people that just don't like, I'm going to prove you wrong. And then every time that person proves their parents wrong, their parents always comes to them anyway. Like they never shun them out. They always in the end, boom, because you've made a decision for yourself. Obviously, they want to see you do good. But once they see you do good and you've done something for yourself, they don't really mind it, innit? Because you had a plan, innit?
I feel like parents train their kids to survive. They don't train man to live and make it.
To make it.
We decide, if I do this and do this, I can be, you know what I'm saying? But they're just thinking, no, just do this and this and you can just survive through this system.
Yeah. I got to hit you lot with the old man angle and this.
Yeah,
because you got to look at it. You're looking at your youth, yeah? For example, I got boys. Now, none of them are like, my boys like to cook more time. And I keep trying to push them, do your YouTube thing, because I'm seeing, if you love doing it, film yourself while you're doing it.
Yeah.
But anyway, there is whatever, they'll do it if they want to do it. But my thing is, if I had a youth that was gaming, or he does playing computer games, I've done my Twitch. Now, I've seen people making dough from it, but it would give me stress. Like, brother, what about your books? You need to know your books as well. I don't care if you want to game, just have this backup. And I think that's a thing with parents. They want to know that you got a plan B. I get that you want to be a footballer. I get you want to be a musician. I get you want to do that. But what's your plan B? But if you're telling me I ain't got no plan B, it's all plan A. I'm putting 110% in. I can't even put 10% into a plan. But we all know people don't make it in football.
You can get injury.
Injury.
You might not be a good fucking singer. You might not be a good fucking rapper. You might have the heart for it, but you're just not fucking good.
Yeah.
There's bare, do you understand? And there's a lot of people that don't make it. I've got brethrens who have been artists since we're 16. I've got brethren, and I'm almost 38, and man are bringing out the single now, and I'm like, brother, you're not even single to be bringing out a single.
Oh my God.
You understand what I'm saying?
So you're not even single to bring that.
Yeah, I hear
So
you
you
know.
gotta have. I think it's especially in this world. You've got to have a backup.
No,
plan.
you do have to. Like, it's important to have a backup plan. You can't obviously just go out, and that's what our parents do want us to have a backup plan. But there needs to be moderation. Like, there's some parents that might just books, and then
They don't get.
They don't allow them to do that side of things. You get what I'm saying? If there's a balance,
Yeah, 'cause
like,
I
if you do your books correct, then you could have all the freedom over here. Because like, you know what? Look how much hours we used to spend playing games back in the day. I mean, there
now
was an
make a
internet,
penny.
a man could have made on a FIFA or a
Blood.
Street or Rage
Blood,
or
if I knew-
any of them games,
Fam,
bro.
if I knew, do you think there would have been a KSI? The way I'm hyped, fam.
Bro, track and field, all of that, man
Fam,
could have been
you know,
licking
if
off
you had
games.
them
you know.
videos in the yard,
Like,
man,
what?
you track and field with the
Yeah.
No, but
pussy,
imagine, no, but you know what? Even if we just had a camera, because remember back in the day,
Yeah,
that
no.
man had to be in the yard, so 4 controllers in the
Yeah.
PS1 or whatever, man on the
But
floor.
man didn't
up.
think about that, you know why?
It would have been
'Cause the
entertaining,
camera
you
was
know?
big and duff like that, and no, they holding that camera.
Look like you
Never
got-
arms hurting, fam.
Look like you got a fridge on your shoulder.
My arms hurting because it's
Imagine,
shaking.
a fridge.
imagine some of the stuff that happened in the houses where you was playing computer direct. Man would get mad, you know, that control pads getting dashed. Man,
One time, my brethren, so keep it short.
Yeah, go
We're
on.
playing this game called Knockout Kings. And on this
Yeah, I
thing,
remember
if
that.
if you got one of the controllers like that, you could do a power punch. So one of my brethren fighting my next brethren, but he was playing with one hand and laughing at him. But punching him in his face, innit? But banging him. To the point, you know the next guy went like this. You want to do that shit in real life, blood? And we like, bro, what happened? But man was so tricky.
man, I'm vexed, fam. Man, I'm vexed.
But I was good.
But yeah, man, it is obviously there's angles and there's a load of ways to make money nowadays, isn't it? So
Kids can live their dream now.
They can
That's
live
the
their
thing.
dream.
And another thing is, sorry, Smokes.
No,
but
no,
it's
no,
it's
no.
the passion thing.
Yeah.
If you're passionate about something, and nowadays it could be about anything, because they can make a money from it. If they got a passion in something, you know what I'm saying? Brother, think about there's some youths who just play with toys.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that made about.
Come on, Adam or something
Yeah,
like that.
Was that Chinese, brother?
Yeah, Adam.
Mad money, bro.
Adam's World.
For just reviewing
But just
toys.
revealing
toys,
Brother.
you know?
But,
Yeah, I
but
see that
But
still.
I had my little youth. I know what you doing. I'm just watching this. I go, but I bought you that toy sitting there. Yeah, I know, but I'm watching him play.
Well, watching him play with it,
But
man.
brother, you can do the same thing, and that's what I'm saying. So nowadays, you can be a musician, you can be a poet, you can be anything.
You can, innit? And there's so many ways, like what you're saying with the internet as well.
TikTok as well.
TikTok is blowing up a lot of artists, you know.
Yeah, come on.
Like the artists are actually giving their music over to TikTok,
So they can use
so
it,
it can
yeah.
blow.
And then,
Imagine that. So
but it works.
it works. 100% it works, isn't it? Because this is what people are into. Like, I'm not gonna like even with the kid, like, and we as parents, like, I don't know if everyone's parents in there, but like, you have to identify a talent in them. Like with my daughter, when she went to school and she had a little Colombian friend, and she's coming home and doing handstands and all of these things. And like, right, she's like, yeah, her little year 2 brethren was
Taught her.
teaching.
Come on,
No, she was teaching the whole kids a class on the mat of gymnastics, because she got in gymnastics and now she's teaching the kids at school. So I'm like, right, so signed up to gymnastics. Innit? Like, cool, you got to go gymnastics now because you looking all right at it. And swimming, and my son does football and all of these things. He done drama, but I'm not going to lie, the drama P was a lot, brother, every month. I had to take him out.
But you know what it is?
And drama money was a lot, you know.
No, but you would spend it if he was like, yeah, I love that.
Yeah, if he loved it, I
If
would
he's like,
spend
oh,
it.
I've got to go on Saturday.
Yeah,
all right,
brother,
cool.
if
He's
you-
half-hearted with it.
I can't pay for you to be all right. You
You're
get me?
spending, brother, and it's just a Saturday, one day a week for a couple hours.
And you're
so
like,
Those money is a month, bro, for 4 days.
Taking out my whole salary.
That's whole salary and half of us.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But you know what? Drama is good though. I'm not gonna. Drama is probably one of the greatest. Like for them.
No, it's not.
No,
Because you
as
don't know
in-
if they're in row.
No, but not for them being enrolled, just for interacting with kids and building their confidence. It builds up the confidence very well. So like, yeah, we just got to identify certain things as well. So that's a good point that you made up there. I'm not gonna lie. We got to start.
So what got you into photography? What made you think, yeah, I want to pick up because I'm shit with my phone. Like, I take pictures. I don't care that they got when I'm getting a new phone. It's got 3 cameras on it.
No, but when you take, you know what's the worst? When you take pictures of girls.
7 times.
Oh my! But they're never right.
Hold on.
They're never right, bro.
Hold on, they do this. Okay, let me see that. Let me do it again. I've just done the same thing. Are you mugging me?
I don't like that angle. Like,
Yeah, I don't like the angle, and the angle just...
I don't see my curves like that.
Yeah, that's what
Bro, no, we're going to talk about the women's side of the photography after, but how did you get into it?
What inspired you?
I think, do you know what it is? Obviously, I was born and raised in East London, so I came from an area called Ilford. So I was raised in an area called Leigh Street Estate. So it was a pretty hot area when I was very, very young. I think it still is till this day. But I grew up to grime. I grew up to garage. I grew up to jungle and bass. Even though I'm 26 years old, but I always grew up to it. I listened to grime from a young age. Like, when people speak to me about grime, they call me the grime encyclopedia, because it's like, how the hell does this guy know everything about grime? Like, you remember that conversation on Clubhouse he had about, I was breaking about different crews and stuff, like the collectives and stuff. It's like, I loved it, like the essence of grime and how it was and what it portrayed for the scene, and how people like Wiley, Dizzy, Skepta, they just broke the rules and they went to do their thing and they changed the whole game. Even like UK gangster rappers, when you had gigs at the very first get-go, then you had Mashtown alongside and North Star and all of these people. It's like, what they done for the industry was so pivotal. And I said to myself, right, I love the music so much. How am I going to get involved with this one day? I never thought about it like straight away, but it was like a manifestation aspect. I know something's going to make me involved with these people, and I'm going to be around these people. And then suddenly, like, around came 2015, 2013, 2014, that's when I was in college. I was studying, like, BTEC Level 3 Media. Done my thing. Got all my, 5 out of 5 choices for uni.
Okay.
I went to Middlesex University. So I was going to go Ravensbourne, but then last minute, Ravensbourne's interview took so long, and then I had to go to Middlesex. And then I studied BA Film Studies, and then 2015 comes by, and then one of my good friends who I grew up with, he messaged me randomly, and he was like to me, yo, like, I've got an opportunity for you that I want to try to give to you, because I can see you do filming and that, and I see you do photography as a side hobby. And then I was like, yeah, cool, let me know. And he was like, cool, I know an artist called Paige Keiki. I trained her and her sister up at the gym in Vauxhall, at the gym group. I was thinking, that's so random, like, how they all...
That's right.
At the same time, do you know what? Like, I hear that. So that was when I think Paige was blowing up. So she was doing her thing, like, around that year. And then I was like, cool, just give me an email. Even though I don't have a portfolio, just send me the email. Then from there, we spoke. I was speaking to her back and forth in emails. I was speaking to her manager, Samara, who was part of Always Recording. That was when I think Paige was under Always Recording. And then Paige was super cool. Like, she was asking me questions about how you're finding it. And obviously, she asked me the most super important question. Do you have a show reel? And I was like...
dun.
Like, where the hell am I going to get this? But then luckily, a friend of mine called Anton, who had a little production company called Touchgate, big shout out to him. I done a few short films for him during college, and then we was filming and I was doing some DOP work. He was like, just send over the company show reel to her and let her know that you was part of it. You sent it over to her. She was amazed by it. She was like, listen, we need to get down to work and that. And in university, they give you access to like big equipment. Big film cameras like Blackmagics and all of these other cameras. So then we spoke to her. We went back and forth. Originally, we were supposed to film a single with her called Tell Me. It had Bonkers on it. This was when Bonkers was blowing up. Because I remember that year, it was Bonkers, Novelist, and Stormzy. And it was Done Free that was killing it. And this is when he had We Run the Block. And then I think Bonkers dropped out of the song. I don't know why. But then we went back and forth about it. And then I had one of my boys like to me, oh, don't do it for free. But I'm like, listen, I don't have a portfolio. Like, what do you mean?
You need to build up your team.
Build up the portfolio.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all fun and that, but I don't even like, have a portfolio. Then obviously what happened was, then comes late January 2015, she posts up a thing on her Instagram, need a photographer for my birthday party. I was like, do you know what? I've got a flash gun. I've got the right stuff. I invested all my student loan to a camera. Why not? I messaged her. I didn't hear back anything. I was like, she probably found someone. I was like, I was in negative thoughts. And then her manager messaged me a day before. She was like, yep, come to this event. We want you here. Come to the birthday. We want you here. And can you bring your friend to film? Cool, no problem. Bear in mind, this are the 3 things I did not know about in the events world. Black people time in.
In life, you should have known that, brother. You grew up around there. You should have known that.
It was that when it came to events.
Yeah, professional. Yeah.
That,
events.
what else? My parents telling them, oh, I'm coming back around 5 a.m. in the morning to like, okay, how am I going to tell them?
Yeah, that's the next
And then thirdly, the unexpected things that's going to happen.
On the night.
Yeah, exactly. So then I went there. She didn't come to 1 a.m. Typical. You know how artists are always late to their thing.
So you say you're dead. We know artists are always late to their thing, innit?
Artists always late to
their thing, anyway, but we move.
Listen, she came at 10. Listen, we was queuing up, and then obviously certain people got in, and then I met a couple people for the first time that I've got mad love for. So I was taking photos, just warming up, and that my friend was filming. It was actually looking pretty good. Like it was my first time doing it, and then that was the first time. Then it opened me so much doors. I met my two of my closest boys, Risky Giovanna, Shy Mercer from Labrador Grove.
Oh, okay.
Mad shout out to both of them. Like them two, they were like the first two people in my career that actually gave me a lot of love and space. Because I remember when I first met Risky, I was like, this brother, like he had bare tattoos on his body and that, and he had like what do you call it, like a piercing, and he had like grills on. Who's this brother? Why is he calling me to take a photo? And then
come here, brother.
He's like, yo, bro, can you take a photo of me and my brother, please? And I was like, yeah, no problem. And I took a photo of him. And then he looked at the camera. He's like, oh, yo, this is wavy, bro. He goes, how long you been doing photography for? I said, this is my first day. He looks at me. He's like,
what's the first day?
What?
Them talents.
He's like, bro, take my number now. I am going to bring you on to me and my brother's crib, and we will do freestyles with the mandem. Because he grew up around Western. He grew up with Angel, all of them, and the Trap Star Massive. So I'm local to him. So I live like in Edgware Road now, and he lives in Labrador Grove. So like that's like 15 minutes from each other. So that was perfect. And then he brought me on. I met Shay Lingo through him. Shout out to Shay Lingo. Obviously, they're like his closest boys as well. But then I met some boy called Q who used to do acoustic Sundays at Box Park. Okay, if you guys remember, back in Box Park, Shoreditch, back in the day. So him and his partner Alex, who were like the founders of that company, Grey Wolf, they brought on a lot of talent before they released Little Sims, Koji Radical, all of these people. So shout out to all of them. And then I remember the first time I done it, that's when I met Nathan Hector.
Okay.
Nathan then was like to me, because I remember I approached Nathan, but I knew about him, but I didn't know about him that much. But I knew he was doing the acting thing. So I approached him and I said to him, bro, I want to definitely get you involved for like some feature films like for university and that.
Okay, yeah.
And then he was like, yeah, cool, no problem. He was like, yeah, just give me a message, I'll message you back. But then I think he said at first, like, like obviously, like if you're trying to get me, I'd have to get a bit of money from Change, which is understandable. That's his hustle at the end of the day.
That's his job,
Yeah, so obviously I messaged him and I was like, probably ain't gonna hear back from this guy. And then randomly he just called me one day, bro, I got a thing called Brothers in Suits. I need you to come down. Can you do BTS for me? From there, boom, history was made with me and Nathan. Even till this day, that's like my closest guy.
Yeah, Nathan's cool still.
Like what he done for me, him, Risky, Shy, Q, my friend Seshi, who has a platform called I Am Next Platform. So he does events. So he brought on the likes of House of Pharaohs, S&E. Okay. Who else as well? Like Lord Apex. All of these contemporary artists before they blew. Yeah. And Sam Wise as well. He brought a couple other artists, but he's done stuff with like Smoke Perp, ASAP Ty. Like he's made history. This boy, like this guy, one of the hardest working people. Like when me and him used to finesse shows, like backstage at American shows. Yeah. This guy is the most confident person you'll ever meet. Like I look at him, I'm like getting my photo pass. I see my man far away, and I see him just near there, and I was thinking, bro, how you gonna get in? He's like, don't worry, bro, that man's got this still. And then as soon as I enter the photo pit, I just see him on the side of the stage with his camera. I was thinking,
how? Like
what? And then he's just like to me,
come on, you know,
my he's like just smiling. And I was like, this guy. But at the same time, this guy's mentality, like he proved a lot of things that I had a lot of mad love for him, and even till this day, like he's one of the most hardest working young G's in the game, man. Shout out to Seshi, man. Like I Am Next. Like I know we've not had no events for like a year and a half now because obviously COVID. I know for a fact like what he done for the culture was amazing, and obviously him, Nathan, Shy, Risky, Shay Lingo, and the Q. I got so much time for them boys, man.
Nah, man, shout them out, man.
Even though obviously now what I'm doing is massive. Now they're doing their own things as well. They're doing a lot of massive things. We still always keep in touch, so I always vouch for them.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So it's about being with the right people who you know that's gonna trust in your vision for a long time, and they know they can see you go far. that's why, like, if you ask Nathan about man's journey, he will tell you from the start. Like, we went with nothing in our pockets. We were traveling to Leicester in coaches and stuff. We had nothing in our pockets when he was hosting shows. And I would take the first coach from Leicester back straight to my lecture at 9 a.m. in the morning. That's how my mentality was.
That's real.
Yeah,
that's
when you want it, you're gonna do things.
And honestly, like, it's crazy, man. Like, just being there as a hobby to, like, now documenting and capturing the likes of the Migos, Drake, Lil Yachty, who else would I say? Don Davies' first ever UK campaign, Sweetie's first ever UK campaign, all of these artists.
That's sick,
and even like all the guys like from 2016, Kojo, J Huss, Bane, before they all blew, I was part of that context of history that happened for Afro Swing, and then now, even now. And when I can't remember what artist it was, but he was like to me, "What you know what's so mad about you, Zach? In 2016, what made you so stood out is you captured everyone before they blew." Yeah. And it's like, even now, people that are growing up and coming up, you're still capturing their journey even before they're blowing. And that's what that's why a lot of people have a lot of respect for
Zach right now.
You want to capture me, I'm like, when you capture them blowing up, so I capture
Oh my God. Yeah, man. So it's just, bro, I've been at the right places. My mentality never stopped. And I just was around the right photographers that gave me a lot of tips and advice, man. And it's just amazing because a lot of photographers in the industry, they actually look out for one another. So it's like, you have 2 or 3 people that are a bit mad in their head, but I've never really had an issue with anyone. But I've always been appreciative that I've had more people on the top that I've always asked advice for. And then I've followed through what I'd done. And then I've just done my own thing. At first, it was a comparison thing where I was like, you know what, that's not the healthiest option.
No,
so I was like, let me focus on me.
History when you focus on you, it's proper.
History got made. Traveled to 35 countries in the space of 4.5 years. Like, that's absolutely insane.
So some people ain't gonna do that in their whole lifetime.
12 tours. 17 Billboard campaigns.
That's lit.
And so much more. J Huss's front cover. Done J Huss's first ever magazine front cover for Guap. First UK photographer to be on a first UK magazine publication, which was for Guap as well. Like, no UK photographer has ever been on the front cover for a magazine in the UK. Sick, you know? So it's like, now when I look back at it, I'm saying to myself, I want to be the first Middle Eastern British Arab photographer to break into the Forbes under 30s. I want to go. I want to go back home in Iraq and open the first media school for 16 to 24-year-olds.
Come on.
I want to even. Honestly, like, I know what I want. But it's just timing comes in its preference, and I realize that there's a lot of time into it. And with me, I always express cultures. Like, you probably heard me when I spoke about this Clubhouse, but I'm doing a documentary about the French rap scene. I've been listening to France for like 8.5 years now. I've been telling people in the UK, get into French rap. It's gonna blow. It's gonna do its thing.
Ain't Crepsy? Don't Raymond do the?
Yeah, they react.
Yeah, they reacted. He does reaction. His friend does reaction videos for the French
France
rappers.
France is the second biggest rap scene in the world.
He does Dutch and Italy and all of that.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Bro, their views are insane.
When I watch
their views are insane, bro. Their support system is 10 times bigger than the UK.
Yeah,
that's what I love about France, and I'll definitely recommend. If I had to choose 3 artists on my head to go say, like, I would say New Generation because of the whole list. Go listen to Gazo. He's like known as the French Prince of Drill. Okay, he just released that album that's got Parcel Unknown T in one song. You got Hamza as well, who's super dope.
I've heard about Hamza, yeah.
So he just released an album called 140 BPM 2. So it's like different sounds of 140 BPM for drill and grime and French drill.
Okay.
And then another one I'll say is Freeze Corleone as well. Okay. So them 3, like the 3 new generational rappers of France. Trust me, like listen to them and you will know. Like you will know, you will know.
Yeah, they're connected to
you will know, you will know. So
trust me. I don't understand though.
Doesn't matter.
Should I
could imagine the
music, and I always say this to people, and this is, I think, the problem that's happened in the UK with the French music scene. I always tell people music is universal. No matter what language it is, it always touch your emotions and soul.
Because you know what? Even like French the Kid, when he done that GRM Daily freestyle the other day, when he switched it from English to French, I was like, yo, I don't know what he's saying, but I was like, this is sick.
I said, yo, I don't even know the language. I don't even know what he's saying.
I don't know what he's saying, but it sounded wavy. Just the switching and then come back. So you're right. Like,
definitely, man. That's why the whole thing about Afrobeats, as I said previously, it's so beautiful because it's like that. You got just so much thing, man. Music is a universal thing, man.
Before even Afrobeats really dropped, when if you want to say that, I don't know what you would call it before Afrobeats, but when they really had the African songs when they first come out, yeah, I would go Broadwater Farm and go to like the community centre and they would have like African parties and weddings.
Yeah.
The vibes it's always vibesy. Like everybody's dancing. Like you get what I'm saying? They will have like, it will be in sync as well. They'll have dancers in sync and they will do certain things.
Yeah.
And they all come dressed.
But if you go to the weddings and stuff,
The
as
weddings
well,
and that,
like, it's just authentic.
The weddings is mental, you know.
Yeah, it's
You been to
lively.
African wedding before?
They're my best things to go
One
to.
of the best, bro.
No, big man.
He knows,
he knows.
Fam.
No, they're lit, you know.
The Nigerian
Aye,
one.
the Nigerians.
Brother.
You know,
Man.
exactly. Hey, he knows.
I'm
He
not
knows.
gonna lie.
Yeah.
One
Bro,
burger,
the food
super
supply,
malt on the-
everything.
Super malt on deck, you know. I don't know why they love super malt like that.
You don't mind.
I don't mind still.
Oh my
Super
God.
malt, yeah.
Jollof Unlimited as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Unlimited
Bro,
jollof.
it's mad.
Holy per
Smooth
container.
beef.
Yeah.
On in.
I love it though, man. I love it.
Beer
for
can
container.
No,
One
because
time I saw
their
one-
food, bro. They
But
got
one time I
unlimited
saw
food,
one
you know.
dinosaur bowl and I said, what am I supposed to do with that? The big man didn't know what that kind of meat was.
But I know you still patented it though.
Yeah.
But I know Ross is like, hold on. That's for the big
Scratching my
man.
head like, what am I supposed to do with that one there?
I'm finished.
You get me?
That is mad, you
Nigerian
know.
one, yeah, they're lit still.
So what is the end goal for you then? Like, I know you're saying you want to do back home in Iraq and that, but what is the end goal for
Just
you?
to continue to be a cultivator for the community, be the spokesman for the unspoken people that couldn't speak their volumes of work through their pain and emotions.
Yeah.
Because as someone who's done a lot of stuff for advocacy talks for like schools like Notting Hill Arts Academy, UAL, UCL, even welfare communities like myself, done workshops and numerous talks to like young people from different ethnic backgrounds, just going through the experiences. Like I even had like experiences where I was in different schools, but then I've been in like different like welfare community centers where I've spoken to kids that have been like through mad stuff. Like I've had kids that I've spoken to that have been molested, that have been domestically abused in their households, that they've lived with a single mother. Like just going through that and just really giving them an opportunity to really express their love for art and creativity is something that I want to continuously do, because I feel like there's not a lot of it. And something as well I really want to touch on is just continue to be someone who does a lot of things for the Arab community as well, but every sense of the community from others, because for like the Arab community, there's a lot of, there's a lot of desanitized situations where they don't think about creativity as a thing.
Okay.
And they don't appreciate that culture a lot. And there's a lot of domestics and geopolitics within the Arab community that has divided them and really just separated them to believe like this Arab country is better than this Arab country, or that person's better than this person, this Shia person's better than this Sunni, or this Sunni person's better than the Shia person. Like,
do you think like in the world that we live that could ever change though? That people are always gonna think
as long as politics exists,
Yeah.
nothing will change. But at the same time, you can create something that spreads a voice,
Yeah.
and revolutionize something. Which you've had people like Che Guevara, Martin Luther King, Emiliano Zapata, Guy Fawkes, all of these great revolutionary fighters that have stood for their communities and really spoken a lot of the unspoken words for these people. Like, yes, some of their tactics have been crazy, and some people may say that their tactics have been a bit subdued to violence and stuff, but at the same time, what it done within the world and the context and how it's really, how should I say, agitated things to be where it is today, it's still influenced heavily. Like in the black community, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, they're still like the two heavyweights of like the black community for like the Black Panthers and that. Che Guevara, South America, even like in Arabic countries, you see every Che Guevara painting all over. Like in South America, like where I come from, quarterly Argentinian. When I went to Argentina for the first time, I saw his face everywhere in every place.
Yeah.
This guy's influence was just insane. And then as well, just a lot, man. It's a lot. And even like the influence of Guy Fawkes, like when you had the Vendetta masks and that whole Anonymous collective, it still continuously influences these people to try to change things. But politics is a big lateral situation to deal with. And I think politics kind of has to exist within the system, because without politics, I think human nature would be in a big situation of like more separation. But at the same time, politics is very corrupt, and that's why it's still, how should I say, it still gives this objective of people where you have classism involved. You have a lot of things within society that's involved: middle class, working class, higher class, and all of these other sense of classism acts that are involved within the society and system. And then you've got institutional racism, you've got systematic racism on top, and there's just a lot of things.
Yeah,
that
no, I
plays
feel
into
like
play.
I feel like the higher ups just fling all of those things out. So all of us lower people just fight it all out, and they just do whatever they want behind the scenes.
And do you know what Rome
That's what they
said?
do.
Yeah, in relation to what Rome said, itself, like, it comes back to what he said, that phrase, survival of the fittest. That is the true essence of survival. They
It's
really want to
facts.
see who survives, and then
who
they
don't,
will then demoralize that person down to see.
That's facts, you know.
It's
Like,
mad
proper.
scary. It's
proper.
mad scary if you think about it.
But then that's why we really gotta train our mind, and we gotta look outside the box. Most of the things that are happening are right in our face,
I know.
and can miss it.
I know.
Like it's so crazy. Like and since COVID, obviously I got into maybe more into investment sides. I've been trying to like
crypto and all those
yeah,
things. Yeah,
but I've been listening to this stuff for like the last 5-6 years anyway. So I've been kind of preparing for moments like this. But when it actually happened, and when you research something and you've been studying something for so long, and when you get in the middle of it,
It's like, rah.
you're like, okay, so this is what man's doing. And then I'm in a different space. Everybody's worrying about COVID. I stopped worrying about COVID 2 weeks after. I was like, I'm not worrying about COVID. Cool. I clocked this as a smoke screen because when I saw it, they locked off sports, and me, I only watch sports channels. So when I started seeing COVID on Sky Sports News and Sky Sports One,
Fairmongering tactics.
bro, I saw it
That's
on
what is.
BBC. Then I'm going on to every channel. Was just I said, nah, I had to lock off the whole thing, the whole Sky.
It was unhealthy for the mind. As I said, the more
Unhealthy,
you watch
fam.
these things, the more it damages your mind state.
I'm
So,
thinking, why would they
it's
just
mad.
push it? They just push. I get it. I'm not saying COVID isn't real. COVID is definitely real. And
Of course
obviously
it
I've
is.
seen people be effective, but the way they were pushing it, I was like, nah, something's wrong here.
Brother.
I need to be away from this. So since I've been away from that, I can't lie. I've felt so. I'm not really worried about it. Yeah, I analyze it sometimes when Boris comes on. I will watch what he's got to say certain times, but then I stay away and I continue and I focus what's going on. This has probably been the healthiest I've ever been. I haven't caught not one cold since COVID's come out.
Yeah.
I'm keeping away
Because
from
I ain't mingled really
That's
around
what
It really
nobody.
awoke to a lot of people to know about the immune system. And
the
really
fear
teaches you.
affects your
It
immune
teaches you,
system,
yeah.
bro.
Exactly.
Get
Exactly.
me? So when you're
100.
fearing and then all of these things come into you,
Yes.
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Because you're manifesting, like what Zek said earlier, when you manifest certain things, comes to you, innit?
Yeah.
If you're going to keep thinking about it, it's going to be there. I
I've
said,
been
nah.
outside since.
Been outside,
it started,
brother.
Barbecue, still doing my. Big man, I don't think I've ever locked down, fam.
Yeah, not properly,
Allegedly.
though. I'm not going to, but
I mean, I've been
You know
at
what?
shoots and that, so
man ain't locked down, but I ain't been like unsensible. Like I'm not around bare people.
Yeah.
Man, we're still away. Like we're in our own number. We're in our own. Other than the party that we had.
But I've been to a lot of like headphone parties.
Ah, yeah, you've been to all of them things. Then. Me,
Yeah.
I don't really mingle too much.
Man's a super spreader.
Yeah,
He didn't care.
Them man are
fam.
carrier, yeah, nah.
I
Now,
believe
the
in my
at
immune.
first-
That's all I used to say to people. I believe in your immune.
Yeah, but
fam.
every day at the first period with ginger, honey, lemon,
Yeah,
every day,
like-
boom, every morning, yeah, boom,
or
boom,
smoothies
boom.
and that.
Straight,
Straight
man,
smooth,
just-
oil, frozen, all of that, yeah.
Just keep the body hydrated
No, but
and fueled. You're
listen,
good, man.
Water, yeah, all of that, all
They
day.
try to rub people. The thing is, yeah, it's so fuckery what they done. And then there's the other side of it, the WhatsApp side. Because as much as the media done fearmongering, the WhatsApp was having people going
Yeah, 'cause
nuts.
man are sending things in your group chats.
Brother,
Oh,
you
yeah.
see-
Trying
you
to
see-
stay away from
listen,
it, but man are sending things
Listen,
to you.
lockdown happened. They told us no one's allowed out. So I've gone out I'm sticking to it. All my kids going I'm going shop. I was like, right, where's that big grey pole come from? That wasn't there last week. I was like, then they're showing people working on it. And man's like to me, 5G.
Oh, yeah, 5G
Yeah,
radiation.
5G.
Oh my god.
I'm Apple Soul or something. They're taking the piss out of me. I got my phone now. My phone saying 5G ready. I'm like, no.
I said 5G ready.
But they were coming at man with so many angles. I was like, so why are these man working when everyone's locked down? I was
Yeah.
like, no, they're trying to 5G. I can't even show you the sticker. Man went on Amazon and bought these anti-radiation stickers. I was like a madman. They don't come to my house. Yeah, let me see your phone. Yeah, get that sticker on there. Because they had for a minute. No, man was caught up
They
in
had
it for a
you
minute.
still.
Yeah, because I was like,
They made man buy stickers.
yeah, because I was like, no, because I was like, everyone gets flu. We talking about killer flu. Suck your mother about killer flu. Everyone's saying, man, so they're doing something, but I'm telling you, But it's because the WhatsApp, fam, it was constant.
But do you know what I mean?
Videos,
it's like what
bare
you're saying,
videos.
It's like,
videos.
remember how we used to, like, back young, when we used to look at conspiracy theories and that?
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you remember
yeah.
the 2012 thing? That
Yes,
example?
yes.
A lot of people are like, oh my
Yeah,
God,
the world was
oh my
gonna
God, the
end,
world's going to end.
I
The
remember
Mayan
that.
prophecies are coming true, blah, blah, blah. I saw people buying survival kits and that.
Yeah.
Survival.
I'm like,
People selling their assets, you know. Hey, you can buy my car, I don't need that shit no more. I just need a
I'm
gun.
like, what? And then the day comes on 21st December, nothing happens.
Hold on, they did the next day. Bare toilet roll on the strap.
Man, toilet roll
Roll
on
on
the
the strap,
strap,
just in the
you know.
yard. Like,
Fam.
looking outside.
No, but that's the
I can see
one
the
thing
postman.
about
What
the
the
whole lockdown. I would never, and no one can
toilet
ever,
roll.
the toilet roll.
I
I don't understand that.
I never understood it either.
It's
fam.
social. Listen, I'm telling you, it's a social
No,
experiment.
but if
like.
you're that scared, why are you running to like who-
Toilet
So you
roll.
gotta shit yourself.
Yeah, but more than likely, but
You can shit
Bro,
yourself.
the worst thing, bro. Like,
worst you can do is just shit and go in the shower.
Yeah,
fam,
go in the
and
shower
do it.
and wash it
And
off.
wash that
fam.
off, bro.
Like, you don't have to buy toilet roll. Isn't
Yeah,
the lot
but
end all?
it's the conditioning. It's the conditioning, the mental.
Or just buy later.
No. Because
Yeah,
what happened
different.
is someone went in the shop and was like this. Their toilet roll. Someone looked at, what the Ross? I need to get some of this
Let
toilet
me
roll as well.
explain to you.
Someone else was
Someone
like,
needs to explain to me.
Let me
properly why
explain
that
to you as
old
well. Toilet roll only ran out for 4 days. You know, like in the supermarkets, like everyone ran out. It sweeped it up because I didn't rush out to get it. I just went to the shop normal one day and they got delivery and everything was back
No,
up.
but-
I said, look at this,
yeah,
man.
but
Pick
they
up
do
my
it
thing
all
and
the
go.
time. They do it all
Bro.
the time. When they said England, due to COVID, the borders are closed. Oh shit, you need some petrol. There was mad queues. I was like, the fuck is wrong with you, though?
You think that these lot ain't gonna get certain supplies through?
I was
Like,
just
toilet,
thinking,
bro.
how much times do you lot shit a day from why you lot are running for toilet?
All right,
Big
now,
shitters,
I'm not even
fam.
gonna
There's
lie.
the people full of shit.
They thought that,
Yeah, that was in
they
there.
thought the borders were closed and they thought the shops were gonna close. These times the supermarkets is booming more than anywhere else. You know, still got our
Listen,
food,
I
still
would
got
love to see how much
alcohol.
money they made. from
Right.
that
Bro,
whole thing.
Tesco's and that
booming,
killed
bro.
it.
What? Them man,
While the
yeah,
poor
them
man that owned the
sweeped up.
restaurant, had a thriving restaurant, had his business, he's pissed.
But have you been West End lately? Like just anywhere,
Bro, I live near West End. I live in
Oh yeah,
Edgware
you live
Road.
there. Yeah,
Bro,
you
it's
live
like a
Edgware Road.
ghost
My
town.
brethren lives Edgware Road.
Absolute
Everywhere's
ghost town.
ghost town, bro, and they've closed down all
even
the
now-
shops, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Ghost
It's mad.
town,
Like you
bro.
only get like the little restaurants and obviously savoury shops that are open and the
Yeah.
dessert shops. But other than that, I've never seen Edgware Road and Oxford Street like that
Dead.
ever in my
It's
life.
Dead. The shops are deserted, bro.
Fam, you see when they said lockdown, I'm telling you, they tried the thing. See like when you say to the youths,
Yeah.
so that's hot. It's not hot, but you're not to touch it. It's hot. It's not really hot, innit? They done a test and said, right, you don't need to stay in your yard. Because they could never have thought bare people was going to stay in their yard. They could never have thought bare people was going to stay in.
No one was just gonna stay in.
But they done
That's
it.
why we're still going through what we're going through.
No,
To be
but-
honest, at a period,
everyone else was disciplined.
because for me, like,
You don't hear nothing about China.
but I'll be honest.
No, but it's not about discipline.
No, I'll
They
be
padded
honest.
them up.
I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
China's act of governance is different to the UK.
Yeah, yeah.
I think at one point we was locked down. Like me
At the beginning.
as a key worker, because I'm man drive the bus. So when I'm out at the beginning of lockdown for the first month, I promise you, it
was locked down, that's what I'm saying
Bruv,
to you.
There were, if people did come on the bus and it was key worker, bro, I would have 2 people a day on my bus.
That's
like
mad,
nobody.
yeah.
It was empty. Like the
Yeah,
roads were
there was
empty.
a point where everyone
It
was
was
And
outside.
the queues.
deserted,
No,
bro.
but you know it is. Yeah, but the thing is, because everyone said no. They said to us, 2
2
weeks.
weeks. Then
And
they
everyone said,
extended it.
what's 2 weeks? Let's just do it and move on.
Yes.
But it's like, no, 2 more weeks.
Maybe
And everyone says that you're an
maybe
idiot.
Another month, maybe. Let's just fling them up in there.
But then what they done is, would have been done if those people didn't go out. Fuck off, man. You're wankers.
Bro, they bare people, bro.
No, come on, they were chatting shit. If everyone locked down for that long, they still would have been like, look at the thing now, Rome's, that you put in the group earlier.
What's that? Oh, the
They're
Brazil
trying to
team.
rub out
they
June the
discovered
21st
Oh yeah, I
already.
saw that via
yeah.
BBC.
Are you mugging us?
Bro, if they
Are
do
you
that,
not going to be out on
they're
June the
gonna-
21st? Everything's cool.
Gonna
But
get the
let me
Brazil one.
tell you what they're
Then
doing.
you're gonna
fam.
get the Paraguay one.
They have
you're
to,
gonna get the Chile one.
they have
you're
to
gonna
open up the
better not be
borders,
the
innit?
Africa one.
They need to open it up for summer because we're unruly. We're not going to sit in our house in summer. So
Yeah.
what they do is just before summer, you know what? COVID's not.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'll
June
be
time. Boris's
go out.
birthday and
So
that.
now they will dash out the new Brazilian thing, but they will say,
So
you
my
know what?
question is, to
It's not-
all of you.
Yeah, go on.
On top of that, do you trust Boris on the 21st of June?
It's his birthday.
Yes, no, yes,
his
no,
birthday.
but
His
yes,
birthday
but
random
no,
time,
but yes, but no. Yeah, that's how I trust.
Wait,
him.
when's his birthday? 17th or
19th.
19th. So that makes him a Gemini. No wonder.
Two-faced
personality.
bastard.
Look at this, fam. It just
Two
makes
face,
sense.
Star
bro.
sign talks.
Star, yeah, it's
Not
too
involved.
much. But yeah, nah, you know what? I just feel
We're
like
gonna
they're
get.
do that, fam.
Listen,
You
we're
think
gonna
we're gonna
get 3 weeks. and say back
No,
in your
man,
house.
we need
I have a
to...
feeling
3 weeks and back in your
No,
house.
we'll go until September, October.
Won't get much.
Depending on how we are. Yeah,
And I think they want everyone vaccinated.
they want everyone vaccinated.
Because the
by
new
then.
vaccine don't pattern up the new strain though.
Yeah, it just came.
Yes,
That's what they tried to say. Don't pattern up the new strain.
So we're gonna go out now. Everyone's
then-
gonna mingle.
They'll build up a new strain for next
build
year.
up a new strain.
I don't even know about
And
that.
then
Well,
what?
listen.
As long as it's boring.
But
Well.
obviously, regarding the industry and the shows, everyone's starting to open up their shows now. I see Nine saying that his thing's running. I see a couple other events. Wiley's got his Eskimo thing saying that he's got that running.
Well, in June, November.
Yep, Heady
November,
rescheduled his
Heady
tour for
rescheduled.
November.
Everything's starting. Everyone's just opening up their tickets now for the end of this year. Like from August going on, October, November.
But I hope it does stay open because there's a lot of people within the media music industry that have been suffering from. Their pocket needs a fucking...
How has it been for you in so far in COVID? How's COVID been treating you? Is it?
Do you hear what he just said
think
earlier?
so. He said, what is the main industry that you're working with? It's not is it artists still? Or...
Artists, influencers, and that. But I think for me, what really helped me was last year the Black Lives Matter protest because that's when a lot of people saw how active I was, and then just from there, I think video shoots were still happening. They just went to billboard shots and everything, and then just done a lot of work for like obviously Saloon, Back Row G. I done a lot of stuff with last year, so Millions as well. A few other people, and then man, just really now it's just there's a lot of bookings coming through, but next month like brands are now starting to reopen things now. So we've been talking to a lot of brands about doing these campaigns we've got coming up with them, and obviously I'm just trying to tackle new avenues as well. So see what really happens.
Yeah, that's good.
See, that was the next thing. What did you say? You made money from Black Lives Matter?
No.
What you said?
No, but
What's wrong with this?
No.
I was going to tie into the next
Do you know
thing.
why? Do you know why? Yeah.
it helped me make
It's just the way you are.
it helped me make people remind me I was still active.
Okay.
Then it made the booking.
Do you know why?
I said it in the chat. I said it like I did not make nothing from Black Lives Matter because I didn't want to do it for the sake of the money.
And you
No,
know why?
you're gonna know why I said that.
You
You're
know
gonna
why
know
we
why.
tied
I
that
actually
in
want to
there?
hear this.
You know why we tied this in? Obviously, so we have to get into this. Last half an hour now.
Do it.
So Clubhouse, you know we're all on we're all on Clubhouse.
Oh,
All right, let's
Clubhouse.
stay again. We're all in the matrix, but some people...
Ladies and
like
gentlemen,
the
be
real world
ready.
still, you get me?
Script you on Clubhouse.
Yeah, so me
and you,
Zach, but not Wes, but but boom, we're in the
We went
room.
in that room.
Ladies and gentlemen, if any situation happens within this matter of situation between Clubhouse, nothing has been invalid for any reasons. Thank you very much.
Allegedly,
We're in the
and
group.
we use the word allegedly.
We was in the
yeah.
group. I think I was in. Did you see the group the other day, a couple of days ago about the Shade Bar? There was a Shade. So cool. There was a Shade Bar group. Whatever. Cool. And it's just asking if they're good for the culture or whatever, or they posting whatever conversation. It was basically just on media and what they post and blah blah blah.
Yeah, which is sensible. to have a good
Sensible.
topic
It weren't bad. Like I don't know, they're in the room or whatever. Everyone was just saying, "Alright, cool." Everyone basically the consensus of the group was, blogs are good because it's a hub for somewhere, but obviously they do need to maybe censor certain things that they put out.
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
That's it.
I agree with that.
Yeah, no one's not really against the blogs. It's just against certain things you post. Cool.
Yeah.
But obviously, when it's going around the room, you know how they normally do it on the app goes round. The combo kind of slightly changed.
We're like a Chinese whispers. It starts here. And
Yeah. So
and then
it
it gets a
switched into like Black Lives Matter, and
God.
and it was about the black square. It still kind of stayed on media, but it was about the black square and it not doing anything for Black Lives.
Yeah,
and
what
all of
did
this.
you mean by the black screen?
The black,
The
you know when
blackout
everyone
thing,
put
the
the blackout
blackout.
thing on social media.
That was dumb to me.
Yeah,
Very dumb.
but this is what I'm saying. This
But
is
if
what
you didn't do it,
this is what one of the girls was
draw.
saying, that it was silly. It didn't change nothing. But then when it got to, do you know Sam, the lady Sam? You definitely know Sam. Cool. So it got to her, and she basically was saying it made a difference for her. She's saying when she go now, like obviously it might not make difference for the culture, but when in organisation, when she goes in now, she looks at the pay between Caucasians and ethnics, and she's saying if the pay gap isn't close enough or that company isn't looking at the ethnic pay, she walks away from the position. That's what she said. Now the ladies that was in there, Miss kind of heard what she said and thought that she profits off Black Lives Matter. But I'm obviously I'm like rah, but like obviously they can say what they want to say, but I'm kind of just said, no, that's not what she said, rare.
Yeah, you lot just done the
I had
typical...
the whole black... Listen, I had all be a black gal in that thing on, man. Oh, you're protecting the white girl. Rare, in front of... I'm like... But they were going... This was days. They're making rooms about, man. Bro, Ashley Louise. I can't lie. I don't know if you... Bunner. Rach Bunner. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Bunner.
I'm not bringing you in this. This is me right now, yeah. But... So, this was going on. And I'm thinking, rah, these lot are going against me. But you lot have... You lot are accusing this woman of something that she's not even doing. Like, cool, she may
More
have...
time
that she may have
more
said.
time you're trying to help them. Like, yo, you lot are going off on something that you got it wrong.
Bro, this is what they don't understand. Like, you can't just...
I'm not going at you. I'm just saying, yo, you misheard.
You're not
And
supposed...
you know when someone's pouncing on one person, it's like, yeah, but we're trying to educate
No,
them.
it's gang.
In my mind, I'm thinking...
No, but it's gang. It's
in a
gang.
school,
It was gang.
in a school, you
gang.
don't have 30 teachers, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have one teacher teaching you in a subject.
And one person saying something, because
Yeah.
certain things she did say, maybe she said a bit wrong, but or whatever, it was cool. And one person addressed her. Sam agreed. Yes, boom. But now you are in that corner and you in that corner and you don't need to be getting involved in that. And I felt like it wasn't needed. But then they all made a room about me. They all started trying to dig up tweets about me and what my old Twitter. But you didn't find nothing on me. Now all of a sudden you are upset and... Well, it's just like this Clubhouse thing, yeah.
No,
can
but
just
that
get
annoys
so
me.
political.
But that annoys me. You see, the crazy thing about social media is, the real fucking crazy thing about it is, when something happens, everyone has to be, I don't want to say whiter than white, but you know what I mean? They've got to be clean that you've never done nothing. But you can't be the person who you've become in life. If you've done nothing, that means you don't know nothing.
Exactly.
Like, everyone has to be like, oh, you know when he was 17, he said, yeah, one batty man. I was 17. Like, does it matter? Like, do you get what I'm saying? I was 17. You asked me if I said that now as a grown man.
Yeah.
He's gone, yeah, you know what I'm saying? This is so dumb,
Yeah, but
bro.
sometimes with your tweets, it can stay. It can stay
That's
in
not
it.
about no tweet.
And I'm not gonna lie. After they tried to dig up tweets on, man, and it didn't really work. The only thing as I said, they tried to get on me. I had on the pod, I had one of the girls from Take Me Out on there one time, and I named the episode "No Likey, No Likey," obviously based off of the show. They try to say, look at what he's doing. They twisted it on Twitter, you know.
You see bare black man just around her, everyone just a smile and so I see what they tried to do, but it was dumb.
What they tried to do?
Oh my god!
What they tried to do was sick, you know. When I looked at it, it made me look like, rah, this is mad, you know.
That's what it is.
I was thinking, I thought for myself I done something wrong. But I was like, no, you ain't getting me, fam. I was like, what? I'm not allowed to quote the game show. No, you know what you was doing there. All right, cool. Like,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. It's
Social
crazy.
media's funny,
But at the same time, people benefit from social media as well, innit?
100%.
So I always said this thing about celebrities. Enough of my brethren argue with me. I'm like, if you're getting big sponsorship from people, you have to watch how you conduct yourself. 100%. You can't just be rags. Because someone's paying you to move a certain way.
Unless that is your brand. Like,
unless it's your thing,
like
you don't get
Charlemagne. Charlemagne says how he feels. What you get me? Obviously within.
But he ain't sponsored. Yeah, he ain't got a Nike sponsorship or.
No, he's got a sponsorship though. Got big sponsor. Yeah, what you think Charlemagne ain't big sponsored, man? Yeah, them got big deals.
Okay, yeah, but what I'm
his
saying
brand,
is
his how he come across and how he entered the game.
He's been consistent.
Yeah. Obviously, he's toned it down a little bit. He probably was a lot worse 10 years
and
ago.
he holds some smoke for the things he said.
Definitely not holds smoke.
But he's behind it.
You know what's funny as well is sometimes, you come into the industry and he's come and stayed consistent. In the beginning, they were trying to bust and said the bare things. You see now, when people go Breakfast Club, artists are going to Charlemagne like, yo, I want to hear what you got to say. Like, they want to hear what he's got to say now because they know you're going to give it to him real. That's sometimes you got to stick through the thickness of being real and what you're about and the purpose in order for people to see that later on in it. Do you get what I'm saying? And he stuck by that. Joe Budden, there's certain man that had to ride through certain places, innit? But some people on social media just talking for the sake of talking.
It's just a draw out.
People just got big numbers and they feel like they got substance to their chat.
Yeah, but then you can't be honest
nothing.
then. You got to mind your P's and Q's because they're trying to counsel you. Like, it's mad. That.
And you know what? I will say this, like, they was on us. You don't support black women. You don't do this. You don't do that. Cool. We've had no. They did. So we've had Clash House. Imagine we've had Clash House for the last 4 or 5 weeks. We raised £4,041, for black women's businesses.
Well done. Shout out you, man.
But when we had the conversation, we were saying what we were saying about Sam and what we weren't dissing the women or nothing like that. But when they come for us, pop down the whole thing, fam.
Telling people don't stand by
don't stand by toe side, man.
Yeah,
Don't
but that's
stand
what I'm
by
saying.
us.
It's a draw out. It's a draw out. Because what they then say is, this people's like that. What are you saying? You roll them in the what?
Yeah, that's what they
Let me
done.
question your credibility. What, you roll with people like that? You support them, man?
Yeah, that's what they did.
It's a draw out.
That's what they done,
yeah.
The side man bust out. But obviously, I get why he did. Like, it was fair. He come to the WhatsApp group, so there's no problem. We understood by the consequences of certain actions, but it was just like, you lot went all out your way to be on Twitter, to look for man's tweets, to do all of these things.
That's why you don't see me in these rooms.
Exactly. But now the same thing that we built up for you lot saying we didn't support and you popped it down. Now there's no money coming in for you lot. No more.
Boy, all I say is, from me as an outsider who's cool with both sides, like, obviously I'm cool with you, man. I know Ashley in that very well, so Ashley's like cool with me, so I got time for her in that, because what she done for like the moderators and what she done in the UK
what she
changed the whole game.
Her hustling
you know
is sick. I rate her for
I
hustling.
respect her for that. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, like your situation with them, that's different. But what I see is that this is my general point of when it comes to Clubhouse. Obviously, a lot of people have spoken about why people join it and all of these things. Obviously, people love the debates. People love the toxic stuff that happens within it. I feel like it's a lot of it underlines within it. It's a UK thing as well at the same time.
100%.
So you've had people come on Clubhouse that you've never heard of before, and now they've suddenly made a name out of it. You've had people that have come on there who've never had a name before, but they've made amazing things happen from it. That's why about Ashley, like, I'll stand by her, what she's done, especially being like one of the first moderators who done numbers. Her Abraxas,
yep, certified.
Nathan as well, what's counting, like what they done for the culture and Clubhouse is freaking phenomenal.
Like what though?
Like, just change the dynamics of the game and just making people understand it. But obviously, like, I'm not involved in that situation where obviously people's rooms get debatable and that. That's got nothing to do with it. One thing I always say is, if you know you're on Clubhouse for a reason, understand that reason. Do you know what I'm saying? With me, just come there to network. I just make moderation rooms about real life stuff, about nice things where you bring positive vibes, which I know you man always do as well.
Yeah, we try to do the morning, Grand Rising morning groups.
Yeah, like obviously you man do that as well. Obviously the ladies as well, they do that. But it's just, I think everyone's opinion is just different to one another, man.
And that's the thing sometimes. And with us, we made the 30s group as well. The reason why we made the 30s plus group was to have grown conversations. You don't have to necessarily be 30, but it was for the grown-minded. So if we do get into a sticky conversation, because on this pod we get into sticky conversations, but we're grown about it. We're respectful to everywhere, but we know how to speak about things. And I feel like that group was made for that, innit? And some people can't, like when we were saying at the beginning, you see, with opinions, some people can't fathom other people's opinions because they haven't, like me, I've travelled around the world and I've worked in some of the, when I started working, I've worked in the grittiest places to working in decent places, and now, you get what I'm saying? So I've worked around different places. I left the ends to go to college. I went to college in the city of Westminster. But like, do you get what I'm saying? So I've mingled with so many different people. So my mind's so open to different cultures and different things that happen in the world, different opinions, because I'm used to it. But when people are not used to it, they feel like their way's right. Oh my, nah, man, it's just not like that.
It's
like when like you're being ignorant. Like when you are saying, you shouldn't be protecting this woman because, fam, I don't give a shit what colour she is, you know, and I don't give a shit that you're black. You are wrong. You're wrong. That's it, innit? Fuck the colour. Like I'm fed up with people going back to this colour thing. Oh my God, shut up, man. I can't lie to you. You're gonna see a room where I'm just gonna rub out all of them soon. But that's
no, but do you know what happened?
I'm not involved.
After that,
I'm not involved.
Ladies,
disclaimer, man.
Disclaimer,
I'm not
involved.
He just takes pictures.
I've got love
not in
for
the
both
politics.
sides. See me, I'm a man of neutral basis.
From now on, I'm behaving. I'm gonna behave.
Yeah, I'm a man of neutral basis.
What's that country? Switzerland.
Switzerland, what?
What was the country?
Switzerland, yeah.
Yeah. Neutral, fam.
Yeah,
not
neutral.
involved in nothing.
And they don't pay taxes there as well, innit?
I don't know about that.
Well, yeah, whatever it is with you, man. Obviously, whatever is going on with obviously your side and their side, that's between you guys and obviously. That's why, like, with me, like, why a lot of people have a lot of time for me and appreciation is because they say to me, look, you always come with positive vibes.
Yes,
you never come and you don't come with this negative mannerism of, like, thinking this and that and your viewpoints of this and that. Like, even when I'm in these rooms, they try and invite me up, I just decline it.
Yeah,
like,
no. Respect, yeah.
Nope.
Respect.
I'm like, nope. But everyone's opinion is entitled to their own, man. Like, you can't, it's like, there's a quote I'll go by, and I think Carla said it once. You can't teach an oppressor to be anti-oppressive. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just how you contextualize that point is everyone's opinions is to their own valid reasons. So that's why, like,
trying to prove people wrong and
yeah, man, like, opinion, like, you can't like,
man don't want to change you. You can't.
That's
can't change.
No, but what's funny about it is someone does that. Okay, let's just say you're arguing. Someone goes, "All right, fine, you're right." With that energy you just put in, someone just goes, "Yeah, cool, you're right." You ain't really changed their mind, but they're not arguing with you. People need to. I don't know why people need to prove they're right. I used to be like that, but that's ego driven. That's ego driven. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, doesn't really matter. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It don't matter.
The thing, but what's worrying is though, because people try and do it, especially to me, basically, it comes down to the race thing. Really, that's the only thing that people really go on about. They feel like they have to, and it's peak though, because it's like you can't really stop because you do want someone to understand because you don't want them to go through life being ignorant. But then why you? There's a lot of time you're investing into someone trying to explain something to them. Like, if they don't matter to you, why are you taking all that time? Do you understand?
Yeah,
if it's your brethren and he don't understand that, just say you got a brethren, he doesn't understand about African culture, Jamaican culture, and you're breaking it down because you're a brethren, you're trying to say, nah, this is how this runs. But I'm saying if it's Joe Blogs on the road, you say, oh, I'm like, well, fucking then.
That's why you have to be open-minded. Open-minded is the best way forward, and if you're willing to learn things from like a lot of situations, then yeah, why not? Like, even when I was in different rooms with like the ladies, obviously you guys had a lot of disagreements. So I learned a lot of things from them, to be fair. And I'll give that massive shout out to them because they actually taught me a lot of things that we've had some beautiful conversations. Likewise, when I've been in rooms with you, man, always have some great conversations. And that I think it's just about, I don't know, man. It's just no one really likes to have a healthy agreement in today's society, and that's the unfortunate aspect of it. No matter what it is, no matter how much right you are, how much wrong you are, everyone just thinks their own entitled opinion is their opinion. Yeah. And that's how it goes in today's society. But this is why, like, when I see these things happen, I just sit back and I'm like, no, man. I'm like, why are you guys doing this? I'm like, come on, man.
Because you know what it is? Sometimes people just don't listen. They don't listen to hear what's actually going on. They just listen to respond. So with that situation, it was a trigger word. And once you hear something triggering, you've not heard anything else they've said.
Nothing matters no more.
Nothing else matters. And that's what needs to stop happening. Forget what you might have heard and that's upset you. Like, listen, from here, listen to what they all got to say. And I know sometimes, you know what, Clubhouse is mad sometimes because some people could be rabbiting on for 5-10 minutes. And it's like, there's certain points you want to cut in, but you got to kind of let them go sometimes. So it's a difficult place, but... You know, it is what it is. But overall, for me, I think Clubhouse is one of the best apps to come out.
Yeah, it's been a game changer.
It's been a big game changer in connecting-wise. Obviously, connecting with even you, Zach, do you get what I'm saying? Is massive for the man them. So, like, man, I appreciate you. Because we've been talking from time. And as I said, when you was in Ghana, man was sending, man, BS. I was upset, but man's locked down. Man's cold. My man's vibes in. He's like, yo, smoke, like, and I'm busting up, you know. I said, yo, Zach, allow me, bro. You'll be back here soon. Don't worry,
living life for that.
He's living life. But that was just nice to see. Like, man, not even connecting with man from
Ghana.
I
can't lie. Even that whole thing, coming off Clubhouse for 2-3 weeks and being off Instagram was the best thing I ever done.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. Just being off Clubhouse for 2 weeks was so healthy.
Yo.
Sorry, COVID or something. Go on, finish, bro.
You know what it is? I know he's been trying
on there to even come off for 2 weeks.
He's been trying to...
I can see the matrix. Do I have to remind man?
You know how it feels to come off for 2 weeks and then have that feeling.
Do I have to remind man?
Go on. What does that mean?
Go on.
But you do that on your phone anyway.
No, I don't. Fuck off. Liar. When have you seen me like that? You want to check... Brother, have you ever seen me on my phone? So
I've seen you on your phone. I've seen
my phone like this. Lost. Matrix. Matrix, fam. I seen Clubhouse. It's matrixing, man. Man are in the same room, but in different rooms because they don't want to echo on each other. But what?
Come on.
Not for me, mate.
You know what?
We're going to go in there and have a debate. If we're going to have the podcast, yeah. But all these rooms, I'm saying I can't get drawn up by these girls, fam. I'll get myself in trouble.
We'll just make constructive
because at some point
rooms,
I'll be like, oh, shut up. No, because that's what I really want to say.
That's what it is.
But you don't have to respond.
Yeah, but then, you have to be politically correct. No, you don't. That's all nonsense.
Yes, you don't need to be politically correct, you know. They're just making man feel like we do.
Yeah, because if you don't, because the world we live in, you'll get rubbed out.
Yeah.
By who?
Well, you know what? I thought that, but only
By a whole
only people
generation
that
of
have
women.
Caring about people's opinion that man
Yeah,
don't really
like,
need
but
to
I've
care
but when
about
it's some-
still.
They never had nothing on, man. What they tried to do was go get my tweets and do all of these things. When you realize man's a clean you and I don't really diss people like that. On like I don't even tweet. So for you to go on man's Twitter, I'm not really a Twitter guy. I just promote my shit and I bust out in it. I'm not even really an internet guy. And you know when you got man them like Smithy and that, I could never do the internet thing anyway. Because like even when man was on Snapchat for a bit, if man even eat an ice cream, it's in the WhatsApp group, man, I diss him, man. So from a very long time,
From long time, man's not even trying to
the
slip
internet thing,
anyway.
man can't slip with the man them, let alone you lot out in the world, you get what I'm saying? So my thing's proper, innit? Obviously there's probably a few things out there that I know that I've tweeted before and it went brazy. I tweeted a mad thing one time and my tweet went brazy. I deleted it straight away. Anything that goes brazy
What
for
did
me,
you say?
I ain't telling
He
you.
say,
I know what you said.
someone's gonna find that. Someone's gonna restore.
I said a mad thing, but I deleted it. Boom. I saw it. Everyone retweeted it like, oh my God. I said, yeah, delete. And that's what I do. I panic in like minutes. If my tweet goes mad, I delete
I
it.
just think you should tweet that again.
Nah, never, man. Even though it's true, but I would never do that. Man. That's
But it can. But people need to be able to
express themselves, man.
Yeah, no, moderate themselves with social media.
That as well.
Some people can't. It's like even I had to stop myself. I had to learn because every time I picked up my phone, I'll be at work or something, open up my phone, tap on Instagram, scrolling, and then I said, "What am I doing?" Because none of these pictures I'm gonna see is gonna make me any more money or help me at this precise moment. I mean, but it was just instant. Like it just
It might do. You might scroll past one of
but
the
probably
motivational things or the business
or probably
ones.
see a dog pissing on man's head or something. That's what I'm gonna see.
Yeah, it depends what you follow. I kind of changed up what I follow now anyway.
Okay, yeah.
I'm trying to follow more positive stuff, but
But I follow bare people because it's pressure. Like, because you know them, they're like.
But that as well,
I'm like, allow me, man. Like,
I'm trying to get
I
off
wouldn't
of
even
that.
your brethren. Like,
But boy, yeah, man. All right, Zach, listen, we're gonna get into the last part of the show.
big up Zach though.
Big up, Zach. Big up for coming through.
The energy from you coming to the door, you're smiling, the vibey.
Yeah.
Listen,
The vibes, man.
one more thing. As the man said, disclaimer, I am not involved in any of the Clubhouse situations.
He's not involved in no Clubhouse situation.
Club-
That
I
man
am
wanna
not
judge
involved.
me.
Only involved in the pod. Don't worry
I'm
about
the
it.
cleanest hearted guy you'll ever
Yeah,
meet.
they want to
know
make
that.
me enemy number
Yeah, we're
one.
trying to
fam.
bring him. We're trying to bring him.
Yeah, because they know,
You're
fam.
part of the pod. You have to be part of the team. But we do a part of this show where we do banger of the week. So we pick a UK banger that you've been. It don't have to be a new banger. It could be old. Anything that you're listening to.
It's your banger.
It's your banger of the week, and then that's what we run. But you got time to think. I'll probably just us will run through something quickly before think of something. But quickly before that, shout out everyone that sent. If you lot have sent in any dilemmas in the last couple of weeks, yeah, send them back again. We apologize. I feel like people have sent something in, but the website it weren't down, but the messages weren't coming.
It was
through.
moving funny.
So man was doing a few tests on it, and I realised that something weren't going.
next week.
Man was realising something weren't going through, so I need you lot to send them back. And then we patterned that up. So dmdlive.co.uk. Make sure you send it to the website. It'll come straight through to us. Yeah.